we're live and recording. A very warm welcome to all of you who are sort of joining us today on this podcast. And a very warm welcome to our special guest today. We have Jay Kumar, who's joining us from Toonz Media. He's founder CEO of Toonz, and joining us all the way from his home in India. Jay, a very very warm welcome from Vitrina.
Thank you, Atul.
Fantastic. And then, as you know, Jad, our key sort of focus is to really highlight all the good work that's happened. The Vitrina Business Network at this point is 65,000 people from 100 countries, leaders, executives, owners, founders, and key sort of experts across the entertainment supply chain uh,
Yes.
track our podcast, and they are here to listen to Ajay, to your story and to the story for Toons, and then also about what Toons is currently focused on, the key partnerships, key content, and services that your company has. So we can straight away start with an introduction. Jay, would be great to know a little bit about you and the company, and then we can get started.
Right. First of all, Atul, congratulations. I know Vitrina from early days, and from where you started and where you are. I think it is a fantastic growth. So first, congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Um, from a Toons point of view, we are a company now. This is our 25th anniversary, so we have been in this business for the last 2.5 decades. We started in India at a time when India was not in the animation map. So we actually part of the creating an industry in India. We created the first animated television series in India. We created the first animated feature film in India. So and we also kind of started the first animation co-production from India. So we have really built not only just a company in India but also an industry in India today. Animation industry in India is quite large, and even the government of India has selected animation, visual effects, and allied industries as a champion sector for the country's growth for the next 10 years. So you understand the importance this particular sector has achieved over a period of time. Um, but Toon started as a production facility. Those days it was 2D. But then we moved on to CGI. Today we have production facilities in various continents, various countries. So we have around 600 people, strong studio in India who produces the 2D and CGI animation. We have a facility in Ireland called Telegale. It is a full-fledged post-production house and a pre-production facility. We also have a live-action studio there. We have a facility in Spain. This is a company we acquired a few years back called Imira Entertainment. We converted Imira into a Spanish and LATAM based production house. We have a facility in New Zealand in Auckland, and then we have an associate facility in Istanbul in Turkey as well. So it's pretty kind of wide. We are a one-stop shop. We are able to kind of provide services from script to screen, and we also have a very strong distribution for both for TV as well as for feature films. This is the feature film distribution is based out of Madrid, and the TV distribution is based out of Paris. In addition to that, we have a business out of Dubai called Toonz Media Networks, which is a platform business. We have a joint venture channel with Television Española in Spain and Latin America and US Hispanic markets. We also have, platforms in Dubai, platforms in Indonesia, platforms in other territories. So this is under a separate entity called Toonz Media Networks, which is based out of Dubai. We also have an education services business. So, when we started India, one of the major problem we encountered was the lack of skilled talents in India those days. Even now, I think even though the India has grown significantly, we still have that kind of talent. So we have a educational services division. We train so far around 10,000 students over the last 20 years. We now have a training facility in Trivandrum, which is a physical training facility. We also have a arrangement with TCS. As you know, TCS is the second largest IT company in the world.
That's right.
So we have an arrangement with TCS Ion. We are their exclusive creative partner to impart creative education in universities and schools and kind of other places. So this is in a nutshell who we are in terms of our partnerships. Atul, we work with all the major American studios and also all major broadcasters and OTT platforms across the globe. I mean, at least in the key territories.
Fantastic. Gosh, again, Jaya, every time that I've heard you speak about the entire growth story of Toonz Media, it's just so inspiring to understand how it actually started out, and how it's actually sort of grown now to a global presence. Some of the markets that you talked about, including your business in EMEA, and this whole big focus in markets like Ireland, Spain, and the work that you're doing in the Middle East, just
Yes.
incredibly inspiring. One aspect that I was actually sort of wanting to understand is uh, some of the partnerships that you talked about in the US. If you can sort of give some more color to, are these co-production partnerships? Are these commission work? How does your engagement in the US work with other companies?
We did multiple engagements. We have done service work for almost all the major players. We also did co-productions. Our first major co-production was with the Hallmark Group in New York. Those days, the Hallmark card group as a kids division, and we did a television series with them called Finley the Fire Truck. We invested significantly on that. It was actually a very successful collaboration. We got BBC as a anchor broadcaster, and then we got Mattel as a toy partner for that project. And then those days, a company called Classic Media, which eventually became DreamWorks, they distributed the program. Those days we didn't have a distribution division. We were working with other major companies. But that particular project, we sold it to around 200 countries. Fisher Price from Mattel actually ran the toys, and it was a very successful thing. And after that, we did a picture with another co-production with Paramount Pictures. This is based on a Dungeons and Dragons, based on a major game property called Dragonlance. And then we did a major branded show with Sony in US. It's called Playmobil. This was again uh, a film. Then we did three uh, live action feature films with NBC Universal. The first film was a full investment from our side, and the second, third, NBC Universal invested with us. This is based on, again, a very, very highly branded property called, highly branded writer called R.L. Stein. He's actually second biggest writer in the world for kids after J.K. Rowling. His famous work is I mean, I mean, his books are sold to around 400 million kids. And then we produced a show called Mostly Ghostly in association with Disney Channel in US, and then Universal distributed it, and it was a significant success. Then we produced second and third movie on the Mostly Ghostly series. Then we actually did another co-production. This was also an investment from our side with Marvel Studios. This was on Wolverine and X-Men. This was just prior to Marvel was acquired by Disney. We produced a 26 into 22-minute show. This was again, very highly successful show. For around 20 years, we were distributing that, and one of the hot selling items in our catalog. And as you know, Wolverine X-Men is already a major franchise. That was a significant success for us. And then we did another one called a Speed Racer. This is a Japanese property. This was with Nickelodeon as well as with Lionsgate in US. So and then we are working on a major show called Sunicon. This is a major investment from our side with Sunicon International in US. So overall, we invested heavily with US partners, and most of these investments and partnerships really done significant success for us. Okay. The NBC Universal. Okay, so the NBC Universal relationship was with a project called Mostly Ghostly. We started with
Okay.
this is a writer called R.L. Stein. He is the second biggest writer in the world for kids after J.K. Rowling.
Okay.
Um, you know, um, and then we optioned 9 books from him called Mostly Ghostly series, and the first
Hmm.
film we did with Disney Television in the US. And then we asked Universal to distribute in the world, and Universal did a fantastic job in uh, distributing and making a big success out of it. And the second and third movies we produced, but this time Universal, first movie was fully funded by us, and the second and third movie Universal actually worked with us, and then they also participated in the funding.
Got it.
Then we basically gone and worked with Marvel. This was prior to Marvel acquired by Disney. So we produced one of the major show called Wolverine and X-Men, 26 into 22-minute episode. We have done. This was a serious success, very big success for us.
Wow.
We for 20 years we have been, around 10 years we have been selling the show worldwide. It was one of our hot selling property in our catalog. Then we did a major
Hmm.
Japanese brand called Speed Racer. This project was in partnership with Nickelodeon in US as well as Lionsgate in US. In addition to the US
Okay.
broadcasters, we also partnered with several other European broadcasters for this project.
So that's super impressive, actually, Ajay. Again, just in terms of all the relationships that you talked about
Yes,
over the length of time, these are very very strong brands and
yes,
very strong sort of IP and work that has happened.
correct.
In terms of the current focus, I know there's been lots of changes in both the broadcasting and streaming part of the business.
Yes, yes,
The licensing markets have become very global, and then of
yes,
course the animation business is fast changing. I just wanted to
yes,
understand, as you look at 2024,
yes.
what adjustments are you making to the business model, or the IP ownership, commissioning work, and then the market focus? What markets are you
Yes.
focusing on? If you can just touch upon some of these adjustments that we are all having to make just because the nature of the industry and business is changing.
Right, right, right. I think we have been actually focusing on. It was basically my idea to focus our efforts. While the matured markets are very important for us because that is currently the revenue streams, but we have also been focusing on kind of emerging economies. Right. One was India. When we started,
Yes.
India was zero. But today, India is a major, kind of a player, even from a domestic business perspective. The another territory which we were very focusing is on Middle East. Middle
That's right.
East is probably one area. Even right now, it is significantly developing, primarily because of Saudi Arabia. Right, this was a country which was completely kind of closed for entertainment business. They opened up, and there is a very significant growth in that particular market. Another market which we have always, and especially from this is from a kid's perspective, is the Latin American market and the African market. These markets are also kind of developing and kind of generating good results. And even from a demographic standpoint, Atul, if you really look at Europe and the US, the population growth is practically nil. In Europe, it is negative, right?
That's
So
right.
where is the population is growing, and that is where the kids population, right? Which is India, China, Indonesia, Africa, Arab countries, and Latin America. So these are the kind of places where the audiences are there for the future. If you really take the next 10 years, I think the future is in these countries. So I think that from a geographical point of view, these countries are an important focus to us, in addition to the key territories which we
Hmm.
all know. The second one is the tech, especially the developments in the data driven strategies and analytics. This is now, I think it is very important. AI tools for production is extremely important, which I think we are probably at the initial side of the AI wave. We
Right.
we believe that we will be seeing the, the the second or third wave of this AI will be, you know more than generated AI, it will be automated AI. And at that particular point in time, I think many of our production processes will be highly automated, which
Hmm.
will significantly reduce time and significantly reduce cost for animation, which I think is a big opportunity as well. So I'm an optimist. I believe that today, animation has a lot of application. A couple of example is, one is education. It's a major application. Second one is healthcare. But unfortunately, because it consumes a lot of time and it consumes a lot of money, uh, they are not really embracing animation, the way it should be. But I think with the help of these AI technologies, I believe animation would be much more applicable to other sectors. Another major sector is defense sector. So I think this can be applied on many other kind of sectors. So that
That's
is
right.
one. Coming back to the entertainment sector, we are finding that the way that young audiences are consuming content has totally changed to a certain extent, that it will not revert to the past trends. The preschool audiences have become more mature than previous generation. Unlike the previous generation whose preferences were mostly for evergreen characters, the current generation of preschool audience are looking for heroes or characters that are more closer and related to their life. Gaming analytics and data sets points out that the audience of 6 to 8 and 10 plus are more interested in action adventure and comedy, and looking for gaming experience. For example, Roblox, the latest statistics says that they have 70 million plus kind of active users. Another interesting trend is YouTube and other social media with gaming and streaming. So these are all driving production and content in a very different way, in terms of both in terms of production as well as in terms of consumption. So I
Hmm.
think you need to take all these trends into consideration, and by keeping a tab on the evolving and changing consumption preferences, I think I mean, if you really embrace all this, then I think you can reasonably thrive in the business.
Got it. Got it. No, that's again, we are also seeing the convergence between gaming, streaming, and digital devices very
Right,
rapidly. And of course, you talked about AI, right?
right.
One aspect, Jaya, again, you've had a very smart growth, in specific markets. You spoke
Yes,
about growth markets. right? LATAM,
Yeah.
Middle East, Africa, and parts of APAC.
Yes.
Um, I wanted to actually sort of double click on two aspects. One is new markets that you're still looking at expanding into.
Yes.
Again, you know that our the Vitrina network goes across in 100 countries. There are a host
Yes.
of people within our network that will be listening to you today. Where do you want to get inbound interest from? Which are the new markets that you are sort of wanting to open up? Would be great for the network to know what your focus is from a markets perspective, geographies perspective.
Well, I think Atul, all the key territories in our business, 10 or 12, the US,
Right.
Canada, France, UK, Italy, Spain, Germany, uh, China, Australia, Japan.
Okay.
So these 10 or 11 countries we traditionally call as key territories in our business. Both
Right.
for TV and video. So these kind of places, really driving, the overall business. Um, so those territories continue to be our focus, but we
Okay.
also, kind of in addition to these, kind of key territories which are traditionally, kind of top territories, but we are, currently looking at, for example, CIS territories. That territory is now, is growing in a big way. We see a content growth in Korea. We are seeing that, the Korean content, not only the K-pop and all, or even kids content, from Korea, is finding a lot of interest in many countries, especially in the kids space. So that is one area. India definitely is a growth market. China, though it is a closed market, I think, if you can really get into a penetration, and if you can really figure out a way to co-produce content with China, then China itself is a major thing. Uh, Currently, I think, one, as we all know, that America, the content is unfortunately not in a very good shape, but Europe is still spending. All the public
That's right.
broadcasters in Europe are spending. So that is,
That's right.
probably one area, if you are looking for, kind of, kind of thing. So I think, it is traditional plus, some of these, kind of new territories. Middle East
Right.
and Saudi Arabia, as I mentioned earlier, is a really, really important. You will see a very significant development in that particular territory.
Understood. Understood. I also was very interested in understanding, some of the tax incentives that India's now started to offer. We've started seeing a lot of competition between different countries to actually offer tax incentives and tax credits.
Yes.
I'm guessing that the even the choice of your locations, including the the Spain acquisition that you had done a few years
Yes.
ago, was targeted towards ensuring a presence in those markets. Um, uh, just from your perspective, the kind of partnerships that you are looking at, IP development, co-production, commissioning, you essentially open for either of those three sort of models. Is that would that be accurate?
Yeah. Correct, correct. I think, we are very open for various types of partnerships at various levels, right?
Okay,
At a very simple level, we are looking for service works,
got it.
that pays our bill. So if any partner want very high end 2D Flash or Toon Boom Harmony, 3D Maya or 3D Unreal, any of those kind of, service work, we are very open to work with our partners. The second is
Okay.
is intellectual property development, joint development of properties, and then co-production. We between because, we have multiple geographies, so we will be able to really bring in, for example, because of Ireland, we can bring in the entire post-production services as an investment
Hmm.
from our side. um,
Nice.
and uh, and then we also can bring in the distribution capability both for feature films as well as for TV series. And we also now working with major various partners on YouTube content development, because today we can't ignore YouTube, because that is one of the major platform through kids consume content.
That's right.
So we have some very significant success on the YouTube platform as well. So we are, kind of looking for, uh, kind of partners where we can co-produce, co-develop. We can distribute their, kind of projects. We can finance their project. We are open for service work. So at a multi level, we are looking for partners and partnerships.
Fantastic. I think that's going to be great news for our network. Just to hear about the diversity of relationships that you're open uh,
Yeah.
to having. How about? Sorry, sir, go ahead.
The tax incentives, I think I wanted to talk about a little bit about
Yes,
tax
yes.
tax incentives in India. Tax incentives in India is a very new this thing. This started, actually it started a year back, but it has not really been adapted by many of the Indian companies. But now, Indian companies have started.
Okay.
Um, in the government of India announced um, tax credit up to 40 percentage for animation and visual effects projects, and live action feature projects. So these are the three aspects in which the tax credits and subsidies are applicable.
Hmm.
And these are applicable for two different types of work. One is, if you are doing a service work, then these tax credit and subsidies are applicable. uh, if you are doing a co-production with India, if your country has a co-production treaty with India, then that those kind of projects are also eligible for the tax credit and subsidy. So tax credit and
Understood.
subsidies, maybe for an India and America, probably that is, if it is a co-production, then that may not be eligible, because I don't think India has a co-production treaty with America. So if it is co-production, there need to be a valid co-production treaty with India. But India is expanding their co-production treaties in a very significant way. They are
Hmm.
accelerating. They're trying to get as many co-production treaties as possible within a short period of time. But if it is service work, because the government tried to get as much as foreign exchange as possible, so from any countries, any service work, uh, the producers will be eligible for getting
Okay.
this tax credit. But essentially, I think you should, even though it says 40%, because it is 75% of the eligible qualified spend there. So essentially, you are looking at around 25% of the actual money spent in India. You can expect that as a tax credit or subsidy.
Understood. Understood. And I'm guessing that you have experts on your team, which typically are able to facilitate the tax incentives on the geographies that you are represented in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely. Absolutely, we all the shows we are doing in Ireland, we have an internal team.
okay.
So we facilitate even in India. We so all of those kind of things we will take care of it, and we have great relationship with the local governments and
Okay.
players. So those all we will take care.
Fantastic, fantastic. Again, you covered a lot of ground actually, just in terms of the service work, YouTube, and the tax incentives piece. One aspect, actually, two questions, Ajay,
Yes.
related. One is in terms of IP and development. What kind of IP are you most excited about? I know we'd spoken earlier about game
Yes.
adaptations.
Yes. Yes.
There are lots of interesting sort of adaptations on comics and so on. But games you were really keen on at one point of time. Um, so that was one. And then a related question is, are there at this point specific IP that you already have secured in which you are still looking for co-pro partners, or other partnerships that people should reach out to you for?
Right. So IP currently we are focusing on feature film and television series. On those two, we are looking at mostly branded IPs, right? Highly branded intellectual properties. Either brands those are well known, or the creators those are kind of well known. For example, we have done a project with Keith Chapman. Keith Chapman, is the
That's right.
one who conceived Paw Patrol. Right? For
Yeah,
example, and he's probably one of the most successful creator in the planet for kids.
that's right.
And we created a show with him called Paddy Paws, and then that particular one we are now looking for partners to get to the finish line, right?
Got it.
That is as
Got it.
as as one example. We also are working with another Swedish company along with a book publisher called Storytel in Sweden called Super
Hmm.
Brecken. That particular project, we already have kind of partners on board. We are going to green light to this project this year.
Okay.
Another project which we are green lighting this year, just green lighted, is a project which was created by a French creator. Uh, his name is John Marie Olivier. He is
Hmm.
very well known for his creation, Augie and Cockroaches, one of the most
Ah,
famous slapstick comedy show from France. So he created that kind of show for us. So if partners have any
hmm.
of those kind of IPs, high end book IPs or film franchises or game franchises, we are very open to collaborate with them.
Okay.
If people are looking for projects, high profile projects to collaborate, we have many projects to offer to the partners as well. So it works both ways. We are open to collaborate with other people's projects, and equally we are open for collaborating other partners to collaborate on our projects as well.
Got it. Fantastic. Jaya, again, we covered a lot of ground, and thank you for the specifics of the IP that you are currently sort of involved in. I think it straight away gives lots of ideas to our network on,
Yes.
where they should approach you and Toons for partnerships or for new projects. One other, again, as we sort of come to the end of this discussion, just want to also
Yes.
understand your outlook for 2024. I know 2023 was a tough year from multiple standards.
Yeah.
The strikes,
Right.
scripted went through a churn, and then, of course, animation had its own sort of challenges. How's 2024
Right.
started off, and what's the outlook like?
Yeah, I think you are absolutely right. I think primarily we are a content production house, and because of the broadcasters and OTT platforms, you know, their kind of uh, a bit of their activity, at a lower level, that impacted us as well. But however, we are kind of very lucky because our feature division is doing extremely well, and
Nice.
we released two features last year, and we have three feature films currently in production, which we are financing along with other kind of partners. So that area we are seeing a very significant positive traction and a growth
Okay.
level. The second area where we are seeing a significant growth and is on our YouTube, kind of things, because what we are doing is a couple of very high end creators, very very high end celebrities and all. We are collaborating with them in terms of launching content in YouTube. Um,
Okay.
so that
Okay.
we are seeing a very positive traction. So we currently have at least four or five different high-end partnerships on the YouTube content side, and also on the digital kind of content side. So these
Got
are,
it.
I think, two areas where we kind of make good our kind of production contract losses in the TV segment.
Right.
But I think listen, at the end of the day, we have seen these kind of cycles many times in the past, Adul. So I'm
That's
pretty
right.
sure that in a very short period of time, the companies will realize that, I mean, they need more content. They need to produce this content.
That's
And
right.
I believe, as I mentioned earlier, this positive developments on data analytics and artificial intelligence will
That's right.
basically provide some solutions to the industry, because especially on the animation, as I mentioned earlier, two major problems are: one is it takes a long time to produce, right? And in the current scheme of things, the world is changing in seconds, right? Every change is like, so you can't wait for 2 years, 3 years, kind of production timeline. So that need to be cut down, and the cost need to be cut down. So I honestly think the way in which these technologies are growing, I think it will be evolved into a very positive kind of outcome for the industry. So I'm very optimistic for that.
Got it, got it. And one of the things that you talked about, Jaya, which I think is going to really inspire Toonz Media's journey in adapting and adopting a lot of these new technologies, is the fact that you are also so involved in education and creating
Yes.
this new crop of talent.
Yes.
um, any company that is typically looking at the next generation of creators, and bringing them on board, will always be at the forefront of adapting and adopting new technologies and new solutions. I think I can absolutely see how that connects into your overall vision of really creating your powerhouse status of a dependable partner that's multinational, multi-market, and also operates across multiple different dimensions of the supply chain.
Yeah, you have no idea, Adul. When we started in India, 25 years back, this was one of our
Right.
major problem. There were not enough people, skilled people. I mean,
Yes.
there's no dearth of unskilled talent, but skilled talent was a problem. And India, the animation and visual effects industry has been growing consistently around 15 percentage plus year on year for the last 25 years, except for
Wow.
1 or 2 years in the mid. So it's a very high growth sector. So the talent issue has always been there. I think one of the major way our academy in terms of business, right? It is a very
Hmm.
small
Hmm.
element in our thing. But strategically, what it really
Right.
provided is that it has given us every year,
Hmm.
300, 400 kits for us to select from. So
Wow.
the cream of the talent, were available to us because we employed the strategy of having our own education, kind of thing. And then these kids are basically trained in our, industry pipeline, but it is Toonz pipeline. So
Right.
I think it was I mean, today if I reflect back, one of the strategies which I really made a big difference to us is establishing that academy within the Toonz.
I can totally relate to that, and I can totally see the impact at an organizational level,
Yes.
in just bringing new talent, new thought, and new leaders, the future
Yes.
leaders. But this has been very, very energizing. Jay, again, it's always a pleasure talking to you. You're just so involved in your business and your growth strategies. Always very inspiring to speak with you about both your company and the industry in general. On behalf of everybody at Vitrina and the Vitrina Business Network and all of our readers, listeners, and users, I want to thank you for your time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Azal. Thank you.
Thank you.